Hello everyone. So I have been really bad about making videos this semester, so I figured it's time for me to make a video, and I figured making a campus tour video would be ideal because it's been a couple years since I did the last campus tour. So I am walking from App Commons, which is where I live right now, all the way to the entrance of Carson-Newman so that I can give you guys a full tour. Now there are some things that I'm not going to go look at closely because if I did that, like certain buildings that are tucked away in certain places, it would take me like the entire day. Not really, I'm being a little dramatic, but it would take me a little bit of extra time. So I'm just gonna kind of point at buildings rather than like go inside them, give you guys tours of the buildings, or even get up close to some of them, just because this would be a very long video if I did that. So yes, I'm heading to the entrance of Carson-Newman University at the moment. So I will see you in like 2 seconds when I am there. Alright, so we are at the entrance of Carson-Newman University. So at the very entrance here, we've got beautiful Carson-Newman brick and flower beds. So yes, this is Carson-Newman property. And this street right here is Russell Avenue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just walk all the way down Russell Avenue and then take a right and do like a loop, and then I'll make my way to Branner Avenue and then I'll loop around, and that's how I'm gonna give you the tour. And then I'm gonna have to save App Commons for last because that's a little bit more of a walk in this direction, so I'm gonna save that for last. Okay, so first things first, this is the Center for Global Education. I don't know a whole lot about this building. I've never been in it, but that is the Center for Global Education right there. And then on the right over here, oh, we got a car coming, we have the Center for Community Engagement. Now, I am part of a scholarship program here called Faith and Justice, and basically what Faith and Justice is we have to get 50 service hours a semester, and we attend meetings and all of that, but this is the building where Dave's office is, and Dave is the head of Faith and Justice. And then they also used to have Eagles Engage in here, which is another scholarship that you can get. They have Bonner Scholars in here as well. So we've got the Appalachian Cultural Center here. Now this building is used for a wide variety of a lot of different things. So in the fall they have the Dean's List reception hosted in here. In the spring they have the Dean's List reception held at another building on the other side of campus called the Seton House. But it is the fall. I am filming this in the fall. So the Dean's List reception will be here this semester. They also hold Delight, which Delight is a women's Bible study, or young women's Bible study that happens on Thursday nights, and they host it in here. They've done art exhibits in here. They do all sorts of little things with this place, and I've been in this building for several things over the years that I've been here. And we've got the lovely Burnett, which is a freshman girls dorm, or I guess it used to be freshman girls. It's really for anybody now, and I guess it was technically always for anybody, but yeah, so this is Burnett. I've lived here for 2 years that I've been here. I'm going on my 4th year, so I'm a senior. I love Burnett. I like Burnett. I have enjoyed the years that I lived there. Alright, so Burnett's right here. Next to Burnett we have the Kathleen Manley building, which has counseling services, disability services, and health services. So the nurse is in there, the counselors are in there, and then if you need special accommodations for disability and stuff like that, it's in there as well. So this street leads to App Commons. So we will end up over there, but right now we're not going to go down there because that would be a lot of walking. So down this street is App Commons. Down this street we've got the cafeteria, we've got some of our buildings, and then we've got the MSAC. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go straight and then we're gonna loop around. Alright, the next building that we have is the music building. So the Mabel Llewellyn Tar Music Center. We just call it the music building. But yes, they have recitals and music classes, and the band practices in here. The Tar Music Center. And then on the right here, we've got the library. It's the Stevens Burnett Library. And then inside the library, we've got study rooms, we've got student success. There's some classes that are hosted in the library. And then we also have Maples inside the library, which is the campus coffee shop, which love Maples. You can use your Eagle Bucks to go to Maples. Alright, over here, this is one of those things where I'm going to tell you about the buildings down here. Once I go down to App Commons, we'll get a closer look at them because they're close to App Commons. But this is a walkway that takes you to Bly Petit Hall, which is like the Family Consumer Science building, and then you got Ted Russell on this side, which is the business building. So they've got business classes and then Family Consumer Science classes in Bly Petit. You'll get a closer look at them when we go back to App Commons. Alright, and then we've got the beautiful Sarah Swan Hall over here. Now, I lived in Swan for 1 year, and I loved being in Swan. So, the balcony right there, I'm just gonna say, if you end up living in Swan, that balcony is beautiful. It's amazing. It's a great place to get your work done. You can get a look at what's going on campus, but you also get to hear the birds chirping, and you just, it's so beautiful. Over here, we've got campus's biggest building, I believe. I believe it's still the biggest building. That is Henderson. Now, Henderson has religion and English in it, and I'm sure that there's other classes. It used to have nursing on the 4th floor when we didn't have a nursing building, but right now I think it's religion and English. Okay, and then over here we've got Butler Hall. This used to be a dorm, a men's dorm, and then it also holds like financial aid, and I think it's got some of the athletics offices in here. It's got a little bit of everything, but this year it's just the financial aid and the offices. It's not a dorm because they opened up one of the women's dorms and turned it into the men's dorms, but it was originally a men's dorm. I'll explain when we get there, but basically another dorm opened up for the men, so they didn't need Butler Hall anymore. So the dorm part of this building is no longer occupied. Alright, and then we've got the Fight Administration building. Now this is where Dr. Fowler's office is, as well as there's some student accounts stuff in here, so if you have issues with like scholarships and stuff, you will go to the Fight Administration building. Alright, so we are getting close to the end of the stuff that's on Russell Ave. So yeah, that's the end of Carson-Newman property right there. This house I believe belongs to Carson-Newman. I have no idea what it is. Never been in there, but it's cute. So I think that's Carson-Newman property. Carson-Newman ends right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this way and I'm going to go straight down College Street. This is College Street. Okay, so on College Street we have a couple of cute older houses. So this is the Greer Mission House. Now I am not entirely sure what these buildings are used for. I know that sometimes alumni will stay in these houses, but I don't think that they're, you know, really, I don't know what their purpose is. But here's the Seton Guest House. This is where the Dean's List reception is held in the spring. So it's a cute house. Cute house. We got the Seton Guest House here. And then up here, guys, I haven't done a tour video in 2 years. So you haven't seen the progression of the new nursing building. Let me tell you, this building is huge and it is amazing. But before we take a look at that, I just want to look down this street and mention that the old Faith and Justice House used to be down here. And over the summer, we swapped the Faith and Justice House with the Boys Honors House. Now the Boys Honors House is behind App Commons, kind of hidden in the woods. It's a mansion. And so they figured that there's not as many boys honors students living in the honors house, so they swapped with Faith and Justice because we had more people living in the house. And this house down here, super cute, and it fit everybody, but there were a lot more people in this house than there were in the boys honors house. So we swapped. There's one guy living in the honors house, and then we've got some of our Faith and Justice girls living in the Faith and Justice mansion. Okay, so this is brand new this semester. So you guys, if you watch my other videos, you'll see the grand opening of this building. It is amazing. So this is the new nursing building, and it's the Drama and Ted Russell Center. And you know, this was planned to happen, you know, a few years ago, and as they were in the process of getting this built, the old nursing building burned down. And so the nursing students here had been without a nursing building for about a year. And so, like I said, they were in Henderson on the 4th floor, and they had their classes there for about a year. And then now they have upgraded to this massive building that has its own like restaurant in there. It's got simulation labs, it's got other kinds of labs, lots of classrooms, lots of really high-tech stuff. It's amazing. Alright, so right here is alumni. Now, alumni back in the day used to be a men's dorm, and then it became a women's dorm, and then it became a men's dorm again this semester. Last year they didn't have anybody living in alumni at all. Alright, I am not going to walk down here because it's going to take too long, but we've got Heritage down here, which is another men's dorm. It is huge, it is massive. So the men's dorms are on this side of campus. This is officially Branner Ave, I believe. So yes, alumni is now a men's dorm. Heritage is a men's dorm, always has been. Yeah, this side of campus is really about to change drastically. So I'm gonna walk up here and look at this board, this sign up here, because it has our 5-year plan. So they have a lot of different things happening. So I will show you that. Before I show you the 5-year plan, this is the Dougherty Science Building. So they got science and math in here. And then I'm gonna walk up these steps. This is the back of Henderson. So we looked at the front of Henderson as I mentioned it, and now this is the back way. Walking up this sidewalk, and then if we go around Henderson, it takes you to the Eyrie. And the Eyrie is kind of like, it connects the library, Henderson, the art building, the history building. It connects everything. So I'll show you guys the Eyrie in a little bit. Alright, so this is the 5-year plan. So this right here is Branner Ave. So this street right here. In the next 5 years, they're planning on having a chemistry building, which is number 1. They're going to have a biology and physics building, which is 2. They're going to have a sociology, psychology, and history, political science building, which is 3. Oops. And then they're going to have an education building, which that's going to be awesome. I'm glad they're doing that, because right now they have education under the cafeteria. And then they're going to add a track. So what they're going to do is they're going to take out the science building right here, because they're not going to need it if they have new chemistry and biology building. They're going to tear this down and they're going to put a track. So the next 5 years, Branner Ave is going to look very different. Alright, so I'm continuing to walk down Branner Ave. We still have Henderson on the side of us right here. This is the parking lot for the science building, as well as I think some heritage guys park in this parking lot over here. Next to the parking lot, we've got the tennis courts. And then as I get up here a little closer, I'll show you what else is behind the tennis courts, because we've got a lot on this little street. I am not going to go down here This is another one of those things where it's just gonna take forever to walk down there. So I am not walking all the way down there, but I'll tell you what's down there. And you'll be able to see it, kind of. All right, behind the tennis courts, we've got the softball field. And then behind the softball field, we've got the Burke-Tar Stadium, which is the football stadium. Behind the Burke-Tar Stadium, we've got the baseball fields. Okay, so we've got a lot packed back there. Alright, on our right here we have the Chambliss building, which right now is the sociology and psychology building. This is going to be torn down in the next 5 years. And then it's going to be replaced with one of the buildings on the five-year plan. And then on the left here, we have the MSAC. Alright, so this is the MSAC, the Maddox Student Activity Center. So there is a lot in the MSAC. So we've got, you can see on the sign, maybe, it says athletics, the Holt Field House, and student services. So the Holt Field House is the basketball court. We've got a Chick-fil-A in there. We've got our P.O. boxes. If we live on campus, we've got P.O. boxes. The pool's in there. We've got the 3 gym. We've got a track in there that is on top of the 3 gym. There's just a lot in the MSAC. There's a lot in the MSAC. So yeah, this is a neat building. It also has the pod. Can't believe I forgot the pod. Provisions on demand. So you can use your Eagle Bucks both at the Chick-fil-A and the pod inside the MSAC. The pod kind of holds or carries like gas station kind of stuff. So gas station snacks and drinks and stuff like that. So you just use your Eagle Bucks to get that kind of stuff. And then the Chick-fil-A obviously has Chick-fil-A stuff that you can get with your Eagle Bucks. Okay. So down here we have the campus ministries house. I'm not going to walk down there because that'll be a little too far, but yes, we have the campus ministries house down there. And then also DPS is behind the cafeteria. This is the cafeteria. DPS is down there, so if you have any issues with anything security related, you're going to go there. If you need to get your parking pass, you're going to go to the DPS building to get your parking pass. If you have problems with your ID, you know, all this stuff, you're going to go to DPS. Alright, and since I'm not walking down there, I can't show you what it looks like, but next to the football stadium, which is behind the MSAC here, there's the KSAC. And the KSAC, that stands for the Ken Sparks Athletics Center, I think. And that's where they have a weight room in there, and that's where you know, all the athletes do their workouts and stuff. They do it in the KSAC. Alright, so right here we've got the cafeteria. Underneath the cafeteria we have the education department. So yeah, on this part of the building is our huge dining area. We get our food in there. It's the cafeteria. And then down these little steps here lead you to the education department, and so there's classrooms and offices and stuff like that underneath the cafeteria. Okay, so just for reference, we are on, I'm not sure what the name of this street is, but basically if we go all the way down, it'll take us to App Commons. The church is right here, so Russell Ave goes this way. It runs this way. We're gonna get to the point where we hit Russell Ave again. Alright, so cafeteria is over here. On this side, we've got the Warren Art Building. So the art building has all of the art stuff in it. So there's art classrooms, there's studios, all sorts of stuff in the art building. I actually have a class in the art building for the first time that I've been here. So for the first time in 3.5 years, I have a class in here, and the class is how to teach art. This road is called Ken Sparks Way. Cool. And we've got George Ave. It goes down this way. There's not really anything on George Ave. This building, small building right behind the cafeteria, is like where the history and political science professors have their offices. But that's where campus ends on this side. And then here, man, this is beautiful. So this is the eyrie down here. This right here is just the columns. And the last time that I did a tour video, this looked very different. There were not pavers here. This did not exist. It's absolutely beautiful. We've got beautiful flowers leading all the way up to the columns. And once we get up here, this eagle statue did not exist until earlier this year. And I think that this is pretty cool, but there used to be a tree that was just right here. But yeah, they replaced it with the eagle. But isn't that cool? It's cool. Alright, so I don't want to walk the entire eyrie just because, man, a lot of it's uphill. Alright, that is Maples, also the library. This right here is, I can't remember the name of it, it's the gymnasium. And they hold BCM stuff and events in this building, but that's basically it. It's not really used for much else. They may do like some of the elective classes in there as far as like rock climbing, possibly, because they have a rock wall in there, but it's really not used for a whole lot. And then there's the back of Chambliss. You got the art building, you got the side of Henderson. Yeah, so this is the eyrie. The eyrie itself holds a lot of events, like campus events. Oh, a new addition that I don't think was in my last tour video was that sign over there that says Carson-Newman, and it's got the wings. Yeah, that's new. There's a lot of things that are new since the last time I did a tour video. But yes, this is the new and improved eyrie and beyond. Okay, so I'm back on Ken Sparks Way. So I walked down the steps here, and now I'm walking towards Russell Ave. Alright, so, oh, it's the Butler Blanc building. So Butler Blanc is the gymnasium. So Faith and Justice held a Peace Week in the past where we would put on different events around campus to promote the idea of peace. And so we held a rage room in this building here, actually right through those doors. And basically people would come in and they would write down their struggles and their worries onto like a plate or a cup or something. And they would write all their worries down, and then they would go into a room and they would smash the plate, the cup, whatever it was. And it was very therapeutic. Alright, here is the Baker Memorial Building. Now you got history and science and ROTC and all sorts of stuff in this building. On the third floor you've got the campus store and the campus career closet. So if you're a Carson-Newman student, you can come to the Baker building and go up to the third floor and then go to the campus store and use your ID to basically just grab whatever food you need. And then they've got the career closet on the third floor that it's the same concept. You just grab what you need. You have to have your ID to show that you're a student. If you have like interviews coming up, or you've got a presentation that you got to do for a class and you need something nice to wear, the career closet in here is very helpful. If you need some additional snacks and stuff for your dorm or your apartment, you can come in here and get some snacks from the campus store. We've got the Veterans Center here. This is the Veterans Center, which is attached to Baker. Same building. Alright, now we are at Russell Ave, as you can see. Russell Ave. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk straight down because I got to get back to my apartment, which is in App Commons. Alright, so we've got some pretty big changes happening back here. We have our next biggest addition to Carson-Newman campus going in right behind App Commons. Okay, so while we're walking by, that's Ted Russell and that's Bly Petite. You can see them a little bit better now. That right there is Swan. That is Butler. And then this is the walkway that I showed you that was in between the music building and Swan. So, Ted Russell and Bly Petite. We've got a little building right here that I've never been in, but it's called the English Language Institute. I actually had never seen anyone enter or exit this building until this semester. Saw a few people leaving. But I have never been in there, and I'm not sure what it's for, other than it being the English Language Institute. So we have arrived at Up Commons. So Up Commons consists of 2 different apartment buildings. We have Greenbrier, which is the first one on this side. And then further up here, you'll see we have LeConte. So in between the 2 apartment buildings, we have got the residence life director, or we have the head of the Up Commons RA staff live in this half of the building, and then on the other side we've got the laundry room. You can begin to see the construction that's happening. Over here we used to have the beach volleyball courts. Well, now beach volleyball courts don't exist over there. Beach volleyball courts are being installed in the area that the KSAC is in, so you guys didn't get to see that, but they're relocating them. So yeah, as you can see, there's some construction stuff over here. Oh, look, this is LeConte. Wow, hi LeConte. They're going to be building a new dorm. And this dorm is going to be massive. It's going to be the biggest building on campus. Huge. And so they're building it right behind Up Commons here. And I think the goal is to have it built by next year. But yeah, so they're going to be building it in this little area here. And it's going to be massive. It's going to have 2 wings. It's going to have a men's wing and a women's wing. And then in between it, they're going to have a dining option of some sort. I think it'll be another pod, like Provisions on Demand. It's going to be a really fancy building. So that'll be coming next year. So I'll kind of walk around it a little bit so that you can soak this in and see what it looked like when you're watching this like years from now and this building has been up. This is what it looks like before the building has gone up. So I don't know if they're going to build like a parking lot here, or if they're just using this to store their construction for the time being, their equipment. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the side. Oh, and also we have the Child Development Lab straight down this way. That's not going to exist in a couple years. They're tearing that down. So soak that in when you're watching this years from now and the Child Development Lab isn't there. That's what it looked like, and that's where it was located. Alright, so yeah, this entire space is going to be designated to the new dorm. Alright, and then back here, this is not Carson-Newman property, but I just want to shout it out because I love Centennial Park. I love to run there. Just a little paved trail that's nice to run at. But it's also got a dog park, so if you got a dog, you can take your dog there. Alright, the Faith and Justice House. I'm not going to walk all the way down there, but the new Faith and Justice House, the mansion, is behind those trees there. And it is huge. It's massive. So that is what Carson-Newman campus looks like as of the fall of 2023. There are going to be so many changes coming up, so this will be fun to look back on because so much of what I've showed you is not going to be here anymore, or it's going to be updated and improved. So yeah, I just figured this would be a good time to do another tour video because so much has changed since the last tour video and so much will be changing. So yes, I hope you enjoyed and I hope that that was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.